Alrighty, everybody. I'm here with my dad again, and we're going to do a podcast about basically making sure we stay the nation that has God as its
Yeah,
front man, basically.
yeah.
Which,
Our forefathers
yeah,
built it on the Lord, and the Lord's helped them through several things. And I think He built this nation, the only nation in the world big enough to take on the entire planet to protect Israel. And because Israel ain't that big. They are one mighty nation. And if they have us as their back, there ain't no way we're gonna go wrong.
well, something me and you like to talk about is the Black Road Patriots.
Yeah.
They go around, there were literally churches of almost every denomination,
Mm-hmm.
all believing the same God and all fighting for the same cause.
Yeah. It's like
They had the differences, but they worked it out for the greater good.
mm-hmm. They say Cornelius told people said, man, I could take on the army. Doesn't mean squat to me. The militia, I don't have any respect for the militia. What killed me is the Black Road Regiment because they just never gave up. They never gave up. And I thought, yep, that's true because when God's on the inside of you and you're doing your deal, then you're on a mission. And it's hard to give up when you know you got divine backup.
You know, if there was one particular member of the Black Road Regiment I would like to read their notes on,
Mm-hmm.
it'd be the one that had the flintlock pistols on the podium. But, so, this isn't where I was wanting to take the podcast, but I was wanting to say, like, which one has the biblical values, which party has more biblical.
Well, that's easy. That would be the right, because it's on the right side.
Right. But let's go a little bit more in depth here. It's like, the Bible is very clear. It don't support abortion. It don't support
Well, yeah, I see
all
what you're
this stuff.
saying.
The Democrats support it.
That's true. That's true. They don't support a whole lot of different things. Now, don't get me wrong. We have family members on both sides. On both sides of the voting polls, so we love them all. We just can't teach everybody how to pick up and go. But it kind of takes both sides to make a world. We just wish that maybe they would see some of these sides, and because a lot of the things that they're standing for right now is not lining up with the law. That it's lining up with the end times and not with the law, which that can be a whole other coup. We could be getting ready for like a whole prepared. We could do a show over preparing for the end times.
Yeah, I might have to bring up my notes.
We have to do some whole good because if you bring out the you have to give notice on that one because that would be a lot of because the Antichrist is supposed to come before the Lord.
We might have to do a live stream on that one.
We might have to. Because that would be pretty cool.
But
But anyhow, we gotta keep take our nation back before it's too late because we're the only one large enough on this planet to back Israel against them. I mean, there's a lot of enemies for poor little old Israel. And I think that's why we were given this nation in the first place. It's not because of his, it ain't because the good Lord didn't like Britain. It was because he needed a nation that was going to back Israel. And it leads into your verse, don't
yeah, I was actually going to say this for last, but as blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord. And it's Psalms 33, verse 12. I have terrible handwriting, so please excuse me.
But anyhow, Yeah, and it's sowing time come Tuesday, guys. And basically, there's a time to sow and there's a time to harvest, and whatever we get harvested on Tuesday night, or well, from now it could be a month from now before we ever figure out. But you got to cast your seeds, and don't cast them on a stone. Don't get out there and trust somebody else to put it in a box for you. Get out there and put it in yourself until you hear that bloop, and then you know it's gone through. Early voting's already started, so get out and do it.
I hate to say that the future of the nation depends on it, but it does.
Mm-hmm.
We have never had so many foreign enemies in one presidency as we do right now.
Well, and not only that, but they got the bottom of the country plumb open. I mean, what do you? Anybody that kind of look and seen what's going on.
Just like how many terrorist watch lists had snuck in the bottom border. But it's okay.
Yeah, that's true too. But you know, we still have a dream that this is going to be the best nation that's ever been. That we've got, you know, things here in this country that you never can find anywhere else. You have the right to, basically, you just the right to survive.
Yeah,
the right to
bear arms.
Oh yeah, or sleep ones. Anyhow, just even like ownership.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of countries you don't own it. You have permission to be there. You don't own it.
Right.
Here you have permission to own things, protect things,
Well, it's
protect
like-
your borders and stuff.
The definition of mortgage was really like a death lien because you die before you pay it off.
Well, it depends on how late in life you get started, I guess. But no, yeah, and I guess the main thing is you have a right to dream here. You know, they tell us that without a vision you perish, and I'm not all about perishing. You know,
Right.
I mean, we're all gonna meet our maker one day, but I like to keep that dream alive, keep that vision going.
Yeah.
Like you and your real estate. How many people have you helped?
I hope so.
You've helped several of them. And you know, as you bless others, you'll be blessed, you know? And if you say you've helped, just for easy math, say you've helped 10 people find a home of their dreams. And then these 10 people may not be the same 10 people that bless you back. It may come straight from the Lord above. You never can tell. It may be, you know, somebody else that you've never met before.
Right.
Because chances are, you do one good deed, you're not going to make it.
Right.
You do 100 good deeds, they might tell 10 people.
Right.
If you do, so, you know, and works ain't where it's at, but what I'm saying is for like integrity and stuff like that,
Right.
you want to do every job that you do as focused on your goals and dreams. You know, so as a man thinketh, so is he. If you think you're going to be the best at what you do, then you're going to be the best at what you do. If you think you can make it, you're right. If you think you can't, you're right. But anyway, you go about it, you know, you got to be able to get out there.
Right.
But you ain't going to have that right if we vote them all away. But you got to keep the dreams alive. There's plenty of them trying to pull dreams down. There's plenty of people out there that will, oh, you got a dream? Hey, you watch this, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But you got to look past that because that's just, you know, another another challenge. See, winners have challenges, losers have problems. It's the same thing, it's just the way you handle it. And it's kind of like,
I remember hearing that all the time.
but,
Especially in math class.
yeah. So I really think, and I could be wrong, but I really think we have a chance of winning our country back the next 2 to 4 years, of something that we can make a good solid foundation on. Like the cost of gas, good Lord, they're selling. The day, I never thought they would get this kind of money for gas. Well,
That's all.
it was kind of back the way it was. It was kind of back the way it was when, last time he was in the White House. Before they brought it back down to normal.
Yeah.
Half affordable.
I was doing some research on that. Did you know back in the 70s, the last time we had an oil crisis, it was $1.85 or something like that a gallon, and people were losing their minds.
Oh, I imagine. I wasn't old enough to recognize the oil crisis of the 70s. I mean, I was there, but I wasn't old enough to recognize it. But yeah, we're all going to run out of oil. We're all going to, if we get to jack the price up to where you can't make a living, well, it's all the gas company's fault. Okay, well, what do you explain to farmers, you know? They're not in oil and gas, but yet they've got over $180 for a big bale of hay now.
Yeah, that's
So I
another
thought it
thing.
was like, I thought it used to be about, well, of course, it's been a few years since I've done hay, but it was like 50, 60 bucks a bale for the big round.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's like tripled almost.
That's another thing. It's an issue because I don't want to single them out as the Democrats because there's a couple Republicans that are allowing it to happen as well. But
Right, and
they're
you have
allowing
good ones like Manchin.
They're allowing Chinese companies and Bill Gates and several other places to buy up all the farmland, euthanize the cattle, and burn the crops.
Yeah.
And they're wondering why we're going to have a food crisis.
Right. Well, that could be part of our next one.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
That's buying into some biblical
that's buying
times.
into biblical end time too, because how much of it's going to be gone by the time that, you know, like a third of the earth, a third of the life, and a third of the water is going to be gone.
Right.
And already, you know, you find places where places you used to go when you were kids and hunt or play or whatever is all into housing additions now. You don't even have as much land as you did
That
back in the day.
that property by our old house.
Yeah.
When I was little.
Yeah.
They took half that one guy's lawn and
Mhm.
turned it into a big old subdivision.
Yeah. And that was a big ranch. That was farmland. And they took that thing, turned it into a subdivision. I think they've got like 15, 20 homes in it.
Mm-hmm.
And that was all, and they're all on 1 acre tracts back then. They signed an agreement through the county that it was 1 acre is as small as you could go. So these quarter acres in the city. So if he had 20 acres that he just,
Yeah.
20 plus, because you had to put a road in.
Right.
You had to put a road in, you have to have access to it. All for
You got
the
rid of
same.
quite a bit.
Yeah, you got rid of quite a bit of it.
I think he still has enough to have a couple horses. But
Yeah. Have you heard from them lately? No.
it's been a hot minute since I've been down there.
But anyway, are we getting off track again? Okay.
Yes and no.
Yes or no? Okay.
It kind of fits.
Okay.
But basically, to get back on track, which is kind of hard, because it can go in any direction. It's like a tree. It's like you start at the base and then it branches out in a million different things. What we need to do is we need to bring this country back to God. We need modern day Black Road patriots bringing back people to God, bringing back the states to God. We have complete abominable states that I'm not going to mention by name. This country needs to turn back to God. I can't stress that enough. But
Yeah, and
I don't want to necessarily call it the Whore of Babylon in the Book of Revelation.
well, I mean, we don't want to end up there. We got to.
Right now, we're on the right track there.
Yeah, well, we can fix that if it ain't too late.
Right.
I'm just trying to get things, you know. And I really like what they say about, you know, and when you're working with your heart and not with your mind,
Right.
I don't think anybody wants to live in rule of a
Totalitarian.
yeah. I had my tongue tangled up and couldn't talk. Yeah, government, tyrannical government. Nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to live in fear of your house getting busted down, taking what you've got and giving it, just dispersing it because they didn't work for it, or they didn't hunt for it, or they didn't take care of things, you know. Wise person plans ahead and takes care of things, you know, and wisdom to make things happen when you don't have anything to make it happen with. And then somebody comes through and takes it and just, all right, you don't have the right to this anymore. That just kind of, nobody wants to do that. In their heart of hearts, nobody wants that.
Right.
But, go ahead.
There's a flag I saw flying when I was driving by, and it said, "When tyranny becomes law, rebellion becomes duty."
Yeah.
And it had like a skull with 2 ARs going up in the air and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically what I thought of when you were saying that.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Because,
Well, we're not going to get on here and tell everybody what,
yeah, we're not going to tell you what to vote for.
or nothing like that. I'm just saying, if it lines up with the Bible, you can vote for it. And it won't be, you know, I do believe in, you know, taking care of your homeland. I do believe in taking care of your family. I do believe we should have the right to worship. And I do believe we have the right to bear arms to keep the others in place. Grandpa used to say, we keep a flag on the wall, a Bible on the table, and a gun in the shadows to keep the other two from leaving. Because it's just about a word. I never really thought anything about it. You know, I thought it was just something cool that he said, you know, when we was kids. But I finally figured out he ain't far off.
My old history teacher, Mr. McMurray, he would go around. He brought in his decommissioned Civil War era guns, and he said, "The day we lose the Second Amendment is the day we lose them all."
Mm-hmm. He was right too. I remember there was a teacher, Mr. Van Bever, and anyway, in his class, they had a baby, and the parents were looking in the window at this baby in this hospital. You know, they used to have viewing rooms where you look in through the big picture window, and there was a baby laying in there in their little hospital bed, and it had a stamped barcode on its forehead. And it says, "Here's your social security number." And we'd laugh because that baby was so cute, but here it had a stamp on his forehead, you know. And he said, "Don't laugh, that's not far off." And today they got them RFID chips.
Mm-hmm.
They're
Elon Musk talking about the neurotransmitter device thing.
yeah, and you know, he has done some great things like buying up Twitter and stuff like that, but I'm kind of leery of him. There's a part of him that I'm just kind of.
The evil you know is better than the evil you don't know.
Yeah.
And
So, I mean, you already know they're trying to micromanage everything that goes out, but.
so do you think, because according to Mark Zuckerberg, the end times prophecy about not being able to die, but wanting to, Mark Zuckerberg is talking about the end goal for the metaverse being where we can take our physical bodies and put it into a computer, like our soul into a computer. And Elon Musk is talking about this neurotransmitter. So do you think we would all be in a game and want to die? Or is it kind of too far out?
I don't know, that's a lot of sci-fi for what was going on, but
Well, then
You
again,
know-
self-driving cars 20 years ago was a lot of sci-fi.
that's true too, you bet on that. But, you know, you gotta figure on a lot of things that I don't think you can figure on what the future. You know, when I was a kid, and they would go over Revelation, and they would talk about fire falling from the sky, and I used to think it was I'd freak out the Sunday school. Well, we went to both Baptist and Adventist churches, and ended up in Pentecostal. I don't know. Maybe that's what we still don't know. But anyway, one of us is right. But they were talking about the fire falling from the sky, and I asked them, I'd freak them out when I was a kid. I was probably about 10, 11 years old. And I said, does that mean, are they talking about nuclear war? And the fire falling from the sky, and they'd be like, no, probably not. You know, but back then, back then that was a big thing. They just got over the what do you do, Tommy, when you see that flash? Duck and cover. Like that's going to do it again. But it's like, they had to tell them something. And
Well, it's like the Cold War, most people think it's been finished, but technically speaking, there was never a start and there was never an end.
right.
We are just racing to develop all these nuclear warfare weapons and never use them. And now that we've made Russia mad, China mad, Korea mad.
Well, they didn't make them mad until the last 2 years. It's almost like, all right, here we go. What is it? Oh, it's our duty to be a professional screw up. You know? Hey, my goodness. We gotta quit that. They're gonna have people all over your page.
It's over one more time.
Okay, let's do it over.
We were doing so good.
I don't even remember what we talked about. No,
Don't start it over.
It was just,
It's better than that.
no, seriously. Go ahead. It should be.
Obviously, if you follow my page, you know I'm really conservative. I don't mean to be bashing or upsetting anybody's feelings, but I will point out the obvious. We went from strong leadership, kind of strong leadership, strong yet offensive leadership, to nursing home leadership. This guy would probably crash an electric scooter, just like his bicycle.
Well, I don't know. We don't even need to talk about all that.
But what I'm saying is, these foreign countries,
I know
they
that we-
went from having us as a fear factor.
Well, I wouldn't even say
To-
fear factor. A business partner. We had things lined up where
They
we
were
had
afraid if they
we had trade. We had trade set up. We had different stuff. Everybody had a mutual level of respect. There wasn't. I don't think it was a fear thing as much as it was a respect thing, because
Right. They knew
they
that
may
if
have
they
had
messed up.
a little bit of, because
Right.
we had our military back. I mean, our military wasn't like, hello. just hope I got enough gas. You know, I'm not trying to be, I'm just saying,
All I'm saying is, we have people in Britain respecting our military, which 200 years ago, there what? We have all
I'm
these
just-
people that notice we have more guns than people in this nation.
Mhm.
Almost 2 times as many guns as people, and half our people don't like guns. So they're over here. They know if they mess up, they've done messed up. And then
Oh, yeah.
2
But
years
that
ago,
ain't, that ain't all.
2 years ago, our leadership, I'm gonna be honest, it tanked.
Oh, yeah. And for what I can, basically, don't vote our rights away. Don't vote our abilities away. Right now, we have the ability to go vote. We have the right to vote. My grandpa, he knew what to do with communists. He shot them. My dad, he served back in the 60s. My granddad on my mom's side, he was in the Navy. We've got uncles that have been doing their time in the Army and the Air Force and the Marine. Well, basically, whatever they've scattered out to their favorite branch. And they didn't do it so that we would have to answer to a foreign leader. Let's keep our country in November.
Let's keep America the nation where God is the Lord.
There you
Anything else you want to add?
go. I think that's about it.
Alright. God bless you guys. Remember to keep your sword sharpened, your armor on. The devil comes around like a roaring lion, seeking whom it may devour. That being said, God bless y'all. Y'all take care.
And remember to keep your vision alive. Without a vision, you'll perish.